Howdy folks, now rewind about 10 years ago, a very fresh-faced, beardless Rob Wootton, a guy with the world at his feet, all of his hair, shot a video for Match Fishing magazine on how to elasticate a top kit. It's been a really popular video, but it's really dated now. Solid elastic, base bungs, we just don't use them anymore. So, I'm in the shed, I've got a top kit to elasticate. I'm going to show you guys how I elasticate my top kit with modern day components in less than 5 minutes. Right, I've got all the bits and bobs on the bench. That's the perfect opportunity for a little cutaway of all the products. Beautiful product placement there. But let's talk about the actual top kit. I use a Middy XZ65 pole. It's a beautiful pole and it comes with a whole range of different top kits. You've got short kits, long kits, or everything that you can imagine. My actual personal preference is to use the Pro 16 kits. 90% of my fishing revolves around those top kits. They handle nearly, everything that I chuck at them. Now, like most top kits that you'll get, the Pro 16 kits come in 3 pieces. There's a number 3 section, a number 2 section, and then you get a number 1 section. Now, in the past, maybe a few canal anglers would want to elasticate that. Thin elastics, number 3 elastics, catch a few little roach on the canal. That's great. But in my opinion, that is absolutely useless. So we're going to chuck that away. Waste of time for what we're going to do today. You'll be left with a number 2 and number 3 section. And what we want to do is elasticate both of those sections. So the first things first, we need to protect where your elastic comes out the tip, which means putting a little PTFE bush in the top. Now I'm very fortunate that Middy provide a bush to fit their own poles. It's a little internal bush, which is obviously what I want to use. Less tangles with an internal bush. I steer away from externals if I'm honest. And this bush just literally is a perfect fit. Fits inside the pole. I'll probably do a little closer for me popping that bush in, which will probably sit just as we're talking now. And that's perfect. But if your pole doesn't have bushes to suit, what you're going to have to do is take the number 2 section into your local tackle shop and ask the shop owner just to have a look at the bushes and just to try and find a little internal bush that fits perfectly. You want it to actually wedge itself in with a little bit of force. That way you don't need any glue or anything to hold it in place. And that's your number 2 section sorted. The days of base bungs are long behind us. Because we're using hollow elastic now, we use a side puller. This is a concept that's been around for probably 8-9 years, something like that. And when the elastic stretches, we might need to pull a little bit back to tension the elastic. So we drill a hole in the side of the pole, pull some elastic out the side, immediately tightens the elastic, gives us more control over the fish, we can net the fish. That's the idea anyway. So we're going to need to drill a hole in the side of your pole. You're going to say, oh no, it's going to weaken my pole. It is, unless you've got one of these little wraps on the side of your pole. These top kits already come supplied with a little wrap on the side of your pole, just increases the wall thickness slightly. If your top kit hasn't got one of these wraps on it, what you'll have to do is take your number 3 into the tackle shop. The guy behind the counter will know someone will be able to put a wrap on for you. It'll just increase the wall thickness that little bit. It just means that you can drill a hole in there safely. So I'm going to get the drill out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drilling a pilot hole, a little 1mm hole, and then I'm going to go through with a 4.5mm drill bit. That's because these little, which you can't even see on that camera, but again, I'll do a little close-up for you and we'll overlay it probably already. These little bushes for the side puller need a 5mm hole, but what I don't want to do is whack a 5mm hole straight through and risk it being too big, because these bushes click in perfectly. So what I'm going to do is go through about 4.5mm hole, and then I'm just going to eke it out a little bit really carefully, just to make it, just so this little bush clicks in place. That's the theory. One thing before I do this, because I'm not going to let you watch me drill a whole thing, I'm sure you can manage that, is little top tip, got a bit of hose pipe here, and that will sit inside the top kit. I'll push it all the way up, and then when I drill and I get through, I'm not going to bash the other side with the drill if I push too hard. That hose pipe's just going to cushion everything a little bit. Nice little top tip there, and you're not going to smash your top kit up, your brand new top kit, hours after you've bought it. So I'm going to get drilling, and hopefully in literally 5 seconds I'll be back with a nice neat hole ready to pop that little bush inside. So there we go, lovely little neat hole. Might just be able to see it there. This little bush, hopefully, I say hopefully, I've already tried it, I know it fits, is going to click in there. You'll hear the click. There we go, perfect fit. Now that's not coming out of there. Might be able to prise it out of my fingernails like I've just done to show you guys again, but that is not coming out of there. That's the elastic protected coming out of this end. We've already protected coming out the other end of the pole. So now what we need to do is thread the elastic up. What I'll probably do is do a little speeded up version of me threading the elastic down. The important thing is though, is that the elastic goes down. So all we need to do with a nice clean top kit and dry elastic, it's really easy, is push the elastic in, make sure it goes down, just thread it through as we go. So the elastic's through the number 3 section. I've stopped at this end with a little rubber gripper bead. These gripper beads are brilliant. They've got a tiny hole at one end, nice little recess at the other end, and in that recess, the knot will fit inside that I've tied. I've tied a little overhand knot, and that's going to stop the elastic, that sort of like gripper bead and that knot's going to stop the elastic shooting up the end of the pole. I've got a gripper bead on the elastic by using a little diamond eye elastic threader. They're a brilliant bit of kit, perfect for obviously what we're doing here. You could use a gated baiting needle, but that elastic threader's, you know, just the job really. That knot will sit inside that recess. If I pull that elastic through, sit inside that recess nicely. Really nice, neat job that is. And it will sit against that bush perfectly without going through it. So no matter how much pressure is pulled on that, the elastic's not going to shoot with the pole. Easy for me to pull when obviously I need to tension the elastic, but it's not too big. It's going to cause problems when I'm shipping out with the rig tangling over it. That's that end sorted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the elastic through the number 2 section now. Obviously nice dry elastic, nice dry pole section makes things really easy. This is going to take me literally 5 seconds. I can do this while I talk to you. So that will go through there. Shake it through just to get past the bush. That's through there. Put that together. And what I'm going to do now is attach with the elastic threader again a little gripper stop to this end. I'm going to tie a little overhand knot, and that's going to be a really neat way of attaching my pole rig to the elastic. And here we are, the finished article, a super neat elastic connection system. No way your line can get tangled around that. Really direct when I hook into a fish, and that's all I'm asking for really. So I know the video took probably a little bit longer than the 5 minutes I promised you at the start, but hopefully for you guys it's shown how simple it is to do, and it saved all that hassle of you taking a boatload of top kits to the local tackle shop owner and asking him to elasticate them for you. Until next time, tight lines.